Hi everyone, Letty here. Today I'm going to share with you a craft with me video where we make project number 1 using the July 2021 Echo Park Club EP box. We're going to make easy 6x6 mini pocket albums. So again, this is Echo Park Club EP. This was the July box. I just did an unboxing video. This is the Pool Party collection by Echo Park. I will link the unboxing video down below so you can check it out because I'm just going to breeze through this pretty quickly. But you can kind of get an idea here of everything that came in the box. But if you want a closer look, like I said, check out my video that I'll link down below in the description box. So you see here we've got the stickers. So one of the things that I first do with any kit, not just this one, is I basically pull out my cut apart sheets so I can try to prep them off, you know, before I really dive into my projects, because I'm one of those people that I try to use cut aparts as cut aparts. I know these papers come with 2 sides, but typically I always use the cut aparts as cut aparts. And since I'm going to try to maximize this kit, and I have a couple of different projects in mind, I'm going to go ahead and just cut them all down. But before I start today's project, I'm just going to do that real quick off camera. I just wanted to show you what the kind of thought process looks like before I start, just in case this is something that you think might benefit you as well. Now this collection kit this month came with a 6x6, so I went ahead and took those cut apart sheets out as well. So here are my cut down cut aparts ready to be used. I've got 4x6s, 3x4s, 4x4s, 2x3s, 2x2s, and then some scraps here. And these are mostly the branding strips, but I'm going to save them. And then I also prepped the 6x6 paper pad a little bit because I noticed that when I was taking out the cut apart sheets, there was a lot of glue on the edge. So I went ahead and took out all the sheets and then just trimmed them down. Notice I left the hole where the branding strip normally is, or the hole punch. I left that because I sometimes use that area. So all I did was take off the glue edge. So I'm just going to go ahead and store everything away now that it's nice and ready for me to use. And we will get started with the project. So it is now project time. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to take out one colored cardstock 12x12 sheet. This one is basil and it is turquoise mist. I got this at Joann's. I thought this color went perfect for this project or with this collection. If I go to Joann's, I think I'm going to pick up some more because I think it goes perfectly with this collection. Now you will need 1 sheet for every album you're going to do. You'll see at the end, I actually make 3 albums, so I end up using 3 sheets total. But you only need 1 per album. And the first thing you do is you just trim off that little branding strip and you want to get it down to a true 12x12 in size. So again, that was from Basil, this cardstock. And it's called Turquoise Mist. And I found it at Joann's when they had their cardstock on sale. So next you're going to use a scoreboard and you're going to score at 6 inches on one of the 12-inch sides. And I try to score a couple times. And then you just rotate it and you're going to score again at 6 inches on the opposite side. So you're going to basically make the 12x12, you're going to break it down into 4 quadrants of 6x6. So score at 6, turn it, and then score at 6 again. And this is the basic foundation of your 6x6 album. Then you're just going to fold it and then enforce it or varnish it with your bone folder. And that's just to make sure that those creases stay really, really tight because you're going to be folding this. And so you want it to kind of fold really, really, really tight when you close it. So I'm just repeating that process for both of the albums I'm showing you here. But again, I'll have a third one here in a bit. I'll finish it off camera and I'll bring it in. So basically what you do is you have your cover side facing down, and then it's that top left-hand corner that's going to end up getting removed or altered. I pulled in some examples just to show you what I mean. So this is different than Amber, who inspired me for this tutorial. Amber, who's Lyric Lover Crafts. I did kind of a mix on her album. The only thing is I add some pockets to the front. And the way that I'm going to show you how to cut it is you can actually cut it to where your pocket paper will stay intact and you have less gluing and more durability and more pocket area if you cut it the way that I'm going to show you. Now, if this method is way too hard, you can follow Amber's tutorial, cut that top left-hand corner completely off, and then just cut it down to pockets, and you can put the pockets anywhere you want. This first one I'm going to show you is the horizontal pocket on the cover. So the pocket is on the bottom half of the horizontal side of the front cover. And again, I'm calling this option A. What you're going to do is you're going to be leaving the horizontal top 3x6 segment and just remove the excess. So the reason why you leave the top is because this is actually going to get folded over and then flipped down. You'll see in just a minute when we finish cutting. So basically you just cut from the bottom section of this top left corner and then cut up to about 3 inches. Okay. And again, if you find this way too confusing, just cut the whole top left quadrant of this this 12 by 12 sheet, and you can just cut down your pockets later on separately. You'll lose a little bit of space in the pocket, but overall the process will get really, really easy if you do it that way. My way is just a little bit more challenging, but again, you get more area in the pocket. So then after you cut that, then I went up the 3 inches. So you'll see here in a second, you'll see it. And then I'm basically going to use my paper trimmer, and I'm going to cut that whole bottom section, the 3 by 6 section of that top quadrant. So I'm just using my paper trimmer to try to get as close as I can to the line without going over. You don't want to pass that fold line, because then you're going to cut into the actual cover, which you don't want to do. So then I'm just going to use my scissors just to kind of finish cutting it. Okay. And again, you can use a finger blade, you can use a pencil, you can draw, line marks on it. You can do any method you want, just as long as the ending template looks like this. And so this is the template, and you can see here when I fold it, you get the exact replica of what I already did with this project. So you're going to just take out the bottom 3 by 6 section of that top left-hand corner. And that's going to get you your template for the version A, which is the horizontal pocket on the cover. Okay. And again, I'm going to say this multiple times. If this is too confusing, all you have to do is follow Amber's tutorial, which is where she takes out the entire left-hand corner, which I'll show you in a bit, and you just cut down your 2 pockets from there. So I've got this first template prepped, ready to go. Let's go ahead and let me show you option B, which is the vertical pocket on the cover. So again, you're starting with your 12 by 12 sheet. Your cover pattern needs to face down, and then once you have it facing down, your top left-hand corner is going to be the one that we alter or cut. Now, this one is a vertical pocket. So what we're going to do, instead of cutting horizontally, we're going to make a cut vertical, and we're going to want to keep the right-sided half of that top quadrant intact, and we're only going to cut out the left-sided half. So you're basically going to take your ruler and basically cut in 3 inches from that bottom line, that bottom score line that's below the top left quadrant. You're going to cut in 3 inches, and I'm just using my scissors for this. Okay. And then you're basically going to use your paper trimmer, and you're going to cut off that remaining half, which is the left half of the top quadrant. And you're basically going to just cut it at 3 inches. And that's all you're going to do for that first part. So we're going to, at the 3 inch mark, you're going to go ahead and cut it, and just, again, be very careful not to surpass that, or not to go beyond that fold line at the bottom, just so you don't cut into, again, the other pages of the album. And again, if this is too difficult, no problem. Cut the whole thing out. You're good to go. Now, you are going to want to take your scissors and just go ahead and cut all the way down to the middle crease of that fold, just so you can actually fold that pocket over. And so see, when I fold it over, now I have a vertical pocket, just like I was wanting. And then the excess you're always going to use for the inside, one of the inside pockets. And you can put those inside pockets anywhere. You can follow the way that I laid it out. You can follow the way Amber lays it out, or you can just pick and choose what you want, or you can leave it out altogether. So I've got my foundation templates ready. Now you'll see here, I do throw in a third one. So I've got a vertical, horizontal, and a no cover on the pocket, which is, this mimics exactly what Amber shows in her video. And she ends up with 2 little pockets, because when you cut off that top quadrant, you're going to have a 6 by 6. You cut it down to 2 sections of 3 by 6. So the last kind of big step is going to be to cut up our paper and then to decorate. So now the fun begins. So I've taken out my paper. I've taken out all of these supplies that came in the kit. Now you can use 6 by 6 paper, or you can use the 12 by 12 paper that came with the kit. Either way, I decided I'm going to go ahead and use the 12 by 12 paper, because I want to save my 6 by 6 for some other smaller projects. Since this is a full 6 by 6 kind of pattern, I like to have the bigger patterns, which you'll find on the 12 by 12 papers. So I am literally just going to take out my papers, decide which are the ones I want to use, and then I'm going to cut down my papers to size. So take a screenshot of this, write down these measurements. These are the measurements you're going to want to use for the entire album. Full page is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Behind pocket is 5 3/4 by 3 3/4. And then the pocket is 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. Just make sure you keep in mind and pay attention to the orientation of your pocket before you cut. So like for a vertical pocket, you're going to want to cut the paper vertically. Okay, so just make sure you keep that in mind. So a pocket is 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. And that's going to leave a little border of about 1/8 of an inch. You can alter that and make your borders wider if you'd like. I just went with about a 1/8 border because I thought that's what looked best to me, but you can absolutely change that up. Okay. Then you also can notch a hole in your pockets. You'll see Amber uses a circle punch for this. I prefer using the We Are Memory Keepers envelope punch board. I like the look of the way that it looks on with this board. I just basically align the two papers to the top. Make sure you have the same even border on the side, and then you punch it. And it'll give you perfectly aligned paper and pocket. This is the best way that I've found to do it. You can do it separately, but you do it together, and it just works so much better. Here's an example with the background and what the background paper is going to look like once you add that in. So I'm just going to go ahead and repeat this same process to my vertical pocket on my other album that I'm doing. So again, just align the paper to the top of the pocket. Make sure you have even borders on the sides around the 3-inch mark, which is the halfway point of this 6-inch piece of paper. Go ahead and notch it out, and then just go ahead and move down the paper to center it, and then you have your paper and your pocket fully aligned. And again, you can use a circle punch for this. In Amber's tutorial, she uses a circle punch. I just prefer the look of this notch whenever I'm doing pockets. So this is the method I've been using. Now, corner rounding, this is an option that you can do as well. I prefer to have my corners rounded some. So I'm going to use my We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper. I'm using the 1/2-inch side. You can use any kind of corner rounder or whatever size you want. Or you can use neither, it doesn't matter. And what I like to do is round just the bottom 2 corners. So that way my corners are actually rounded, the bottom flaps. And then I do like to round the inside one corner so that way it doesn't poke. So basically when it's open, there are no corners that are not rounded. Now you notice the 2 tops are not rounded, but that's okay for me. If you don't like that, you can round it all, or you can round none of them. It's totally up to you. Now just keep in mind though, if you round your corners on the foundation, make sure you round the same coordinating corners of your paper. So you see here, before I glue anything down, you have to make sure that you corner round those corners, the coordinating corner. So if it's just the bottom corner, just make sure you do that one, just like that. And then before you glue down the actual pocket, you're going to always want to make sure that you corner round and then glue in the behind pocket paper. So you see here where I haven't glued down my pocket yet. I just added the paper to the front, and then I'm adding the background paper, and now you're ready to go ahead and glue down that pocket. So I'm going to use wet glue for this, and it's Barely Art wet glue. And you see here, because you had that fold over from the paper, that's one less side that you're going to have to glue. You're just going to basically glue the 2 edges, which are the top and the bottom on this pocket. And because you are not gluing that 3rd pocket, you're going to have more space in that pocket. That's kind of one of the benefits of leaving that little extra piece on your template instead of cutting it completely off. But you don't have to do that. You can always cut the full top left quadrant off and then just make 2 pockets and then just glue on all ends except for the actual pocket entry. So you see here I'm doing the exact same process for the pocket on the inside. It would be the exact same thing here that we did on the outside, we're going to do on the inside. So we go ahead and glue down our paper to the pocket, and then go ahead and glue the behind paper to the back, and then go ahead and add the glue to the pocket itself and glue it down. And then for this inside pocket, you are going to glue all edges except for, of course, the opening that's notched. That's your actual pocket. So you will have to add glue to the bottom. Whereas on the cover, you only added glue to 2 sides. So then you just basically pick out which papers you want where. And then before you glue them, again, make sure that if you had corners that were rounded, make sure you round the coordinating corners on your paper as well. So that way everything has a very nice little border all the way around it. And you don't have to worry about pointed edges up on rounded edges or vice versa. So you just, again, corner around everything and then glue everything down. And you can use wet glue, or you can use like a tape runner like I'm using. I'm using my ATG tape runner. Either way will work. The one thing with wet glue is it sometimes, depending on which one you use, you might not have a very smooth finish and your paper might start to wrinkle. And then the other thing too that I find is that wet glue tends to weigh down the project a little bit more versus tape runner tends to be a lot lighter. So now my album is ready for decorating, and we are going to decorate on camera. You see here I have the 3 options. I went ahead and did the other 2 off camera. So we have the option A, which is the horizontal. That's the pocket on the cover with 1 pocket on the inside. Okay, so we have that first option. Option B is the vertical pocket on the cover with another pocket on the inside. And then option C, which is closest to Amber's tutorial, is no pocket on the cover and then double pocket on the inside. And you can, again, pick and choose wherever you want these pockets to be. I went ahead and just put them both on the bottom. So, and then the backs are blank. You can actually leave it that way, or you can just add an extra piece of paper with the same dimensions as the full sheet on the back side, which is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Now, let's go ahead and decorate one together, and then I will decorate the other 2 off camera just to save some time, but make sure you stick around to the end of the video because I will do a full recap of what all 3 albums turned out, how they turned out, what they look like. And just a tip for you, if you are mailing this little album, what I would recommend is don't make it so dimensional. Try to keep it as flat as you can, because once you add some pictures or whatever you want to add in, it's going to bulk up a little bit. Now, if you're not mailing it, or you're going to include it, like say in a package where it doesn't matter how wide it is or how dimensional it is, you actually can add dimension to the cover. I generally only ever add dimension to the cover of these albums because I like to keep it very flat on the inside. I have mailed them before, but when I mailed them, I included them in a package, so it didn't matter on my dimension, on the dimension of it. So you can choose and decorate any which way you want. You can keep it plain. You can personalize it with somebody's name. You can do anything you want. So here you see I'm just pulling in all kinds of different pieces. Now on the inside, I am going to keep it flat. I recommend keeping it flat. This helps it fold easier. You can use up your stickers. This is an excellent project to use up stickers. If you have a ton of stickers, take them out, make this project. You will see that you use them up very quickly, especially these 12 by 12 sheets that come with the kit. Sometimes I have a hard time using these sheets. Not with this project. I think I finished more than half of the stickers on this sheet with this one project that I did. So it's a really, really awesome project to smash your sticker stash. And then what you can also technically use ephemera. Anything that's flat, that's not going to create a lot of dimension, you can go ahead and include it in here. So cut aparts, the ephemera or stickers, anything flat basically. So you see here, this goes really quickly. You just add a few stickers, and this is where you can let your creativity shine. I mean, you can literally add as many stickers and decorations and things as you want, or you can keep it relatively plain. Again, you can personalize it. You can add some little notes or mementos, or you can include receipts and all kinds of things in here and glue them in, or add them in, pictures. You can do whatever you want to this. I am just using the items that came in this kit. Now, it is optional. You can, like I said, you can decorate the back. I'm just going to add a little quick sticker since it is the back of my album. You can also, like I said, personalize it and include some of the things that you want to remember. Now, as far as when you're going to add your additional items into the pockets, you can add these cut aparts. The 4x6s to me work best only if you have a pocket on the front. If you have a 4x6, it's not going to really fully fit on the inside unless you cut it down. You'd have to trim it. So I usually just reserve them for the front cover. Then you can go ahead and add some of these 4x4s or 3x4 cut aparts, or really any size cut aparts. You could also add some ephemera in here and send it to as Happy Mail. So your album is fully complete. I'm going to decorate these last 2 off camera, and upcoming next is going to be the full recap of all 3 albums. So again, this was the July 2021 Echo Park Club EP project number 1. We made 3 easy 6x6 pocket mini albums. This using the Pool Party collection by Echo Park. This is just a really cute collection. And this tutorial was inspired by Amber, who is Lyric Lover Crafts here on YouTube and Instagram. She has a tutorial. Definitely check her out as well. I'm going to have close-up pictures on my Instagram. That's Party Planner Papery. So we've already shown you that first album. Here's the second one that I did off camera, and I did add some dimension. This was the one that had no cover, no pocket on the cover. You can see just super cute, super fun project. If you've never made one of these, you really should. And worst case, make option 3, which is like this one. You see here, I mean, they come out just as cute, even if you don't have it fancy with a pocket. Now, if you're going to send Happy Mail goodies to somebody, I really prefer these that have the pocket on the front, because you can just really stuff them and it's just so fun to look at. You've got all this fun goodness kind of hanging out of it. But again, you don't have to. So these were the third option that I did here. So again, this was Echo Park Club EP, July 2021. This was my project number 1, which is mini albums using the Pool Party collection by Echo Park. Thanks for visiting, everyone. Hope you subscribe, like this video, follow me on Instagram, and as always, happy crafting.